This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages, right here on the house that Kamurai built. I am Kamurai. I'm already getting error messages that something is not working. And it looks like Firetalk does not like me again. So here's the story on why we're so late today and what we're doing. I've had to, since the last time I was on, um, I had okay, so 2 weeks ago I had my studio PC go down. Horrible fucking deal. Yeah, luckily I've got a PC set up for my living room that I don't use that often, so I brought that in. I updated some stuff. I installed a bunch of things, hurried up and got my cards and everything, and I managed to get through. And then I ended up with the same problem that the other one had, which turns out to be based in the Avast drivers. So if you've got Avast and Windows 10 and you do anything dealing with streaming or video, beware. It doesn't mean that you're going to get screwed. It just means that you might end up in this lock that you can't get out of. And what ended up happening, in actuality, was that my computer would boot and then it would get to a black screen and then just never load Windows. Like I left it up overnight and everything, and it actually exhibited signs that was happening on my laptop. But eventually it would go, like within 5 minutes or something. Like I'm talking about like hours and Windows doesn't load. Was happening on my desktop. So I ended up having to do a bunch of things. I ended up shorting out my motherboard, so I had to order a new one, which is actually why I ended up grabbing the other PC. And then I actually appropriated my server, which still is not up to date. I've got to shut it down and reinstall these drives. It's got like 2 drives it's not recognizing from when I did the swap. To get all the files off so that I could do full clean installs for Windows 10. So I have almost nothing on this computer, and I've got the living room computer sorted out too, but I don't need that, so I didn't really do anything with it past that. Firetalk is continuing to be a bitch because it's not even letting me finish my story up until this point. So I finally got all that up. I've just recently got everything up, and I've even been going through the files because I realized I'm big on doing backups, but I don't do like system image backups. I do like, oh, here I know these are my important files. Let me just put them on the server, and then I'll do whatever. And then eventually that builds up a couple different copies, and then I'll like sometimes my backups will have copies of the backups in them, and I was like, oh, that's a really bad thing to do. So I need to start pulling those out. And so I finally went through a lot of that. Kitty, I'm telling a story. If you don't want to come up here, then be quiet. Um, so I started going through that, and then I just realized like I've got so many things. I don't know what some of the executables and stuff are. They're all things that like I've downloaded for this problem or that problem more than likely, or a game, and I don't know which is which without just clicking randomly on things, which will be a fun day. And then like a bunch of pictures and stuff and videos. It's like, oh, why do I have backups of these files for my studio when they're not on the studio PC? And it's not like it's a full backup. It's like 1 or 2 files here or there, and I think altogether it ended up being like 10 files, and they were all like pictures and stuff. And then now that I do photo editing type stuff, like I use GIMP primarily, and now I've got access to Photoshop, which is another new development. Um, which I haven't got to yet. But like so now I get to save projects and the actual pictures and stuff that you would actually view. So now I've got to like sort out how to organize all that because most of my stuff is incredibly annually organized. When it gets stored, it's a matter of setting it aside until I can store it, and I need to stop doing that. I need to just store it, and then I won't end up with these big batches of duplicates. Like I'm actually saving myself server space because, quite frankly, I'm getting rid of that many files. And they're small files or they're system backups like for Windows or whatever. Um, and I just realized that YouTube and oh geez, so I'm gonna have to export over my Ustream for that. That's unfortunate. Okay, so here's the deal with what that is. When I use Minicam to do the multi-stream, it uses a different set of cards than the OBS does. But I need to use OBS to stream to live stream to YouTube, and I'm also using that for Firetalk, even though it's not working. So I just fucked the YouTube one. That's all right. We'll figure it out. One of these will have a high enough quality. I'll be able to sort it out, or I won't, and that'll just be funny. I'm fine with that because I'm sitting here talking. I realize this is not a lot to look at. I have a kitty that didn't want to be on camera. He's sitting in front of me now. Sometimes they get in behind me and fight on the bed, and that's funny and cute and stuff. But what was I saying? Okay, so got everything reinstalled and starting to organize things. And then one of the problems that cropped up is that I've been using Sony Vegas, and I've been looking at going to the Adobe Suite for a while. And I talked to Mark Gardner, and he's like he rents it for like $50 a month. He gets everything, and it's a good deal if you could find reason to use it. I have a feeling that I should have just done the Adobe Premiere Pro for like $20 a month and left it at that, and then upgrade later if I needed to, um, because I'm very happy with GIMP as a product. I don't think I need Photoshop, but I have uh, project works with the people who do use Photoshop, so I figured if I'm gonna go any higher than 20, I might as well go 50 and just be done with it. And it's a year, so if it's a year, it's a year, whatever. Firetalk, fuck you, Jesus. Um, okay, so and then Sony Vegas finally got back to me today, like 3 or 4 days later, that like they reset my serial number. It's like you're impossible. I didn't know there was a cap on it to begin with. They limit the number of times that you could install it. And I've had it for years now. So every time my computer goes down or I need to upgrade to like a different OS or whatever, I end up reinstalling it. And I typically install it on like whatever project computer I'm working on. I have it on my laptop. And I think I threw it on a project laptop so that I had access to it. I don't know if I registered it there though. I could be wrong. Um, okay, so that's leading up, leading up, leading up. So this is the first stream since the fresh install. And being able to multi-stream like this, not have problems yet, is promising. Like I haven't even disabled Time Broker, which worries the shit out of me because I have a feeling I'm gonna crash and lose this. And I'm not recording to the drive, which also bothers me. But I'm recording enough places for this stream that I should be safe. Um, and then for whatever reason, I'm getting this ridiculous fucking error for Firetalk, and YouTube's not even showing me on. I don't know what the fuck is the problem. So I've got one that thinks I'm not on. I bet it thinks that I'm double streaming to Firetalk. I bet that's what's happening. Um, so let me. God, I don't want to. Okay, so I got Ustream and you now are working correctly. So I'm gonna stop the one that's supposed to be going to YouTube. That's going there. Settings. And the thing that really bothers me is like no matter what, you can never see. No, God blast it. So what's the Fire Talk one set to? This okay? This is not my imagination. Where's it going? I've had this problem before, and I thought it was just in my head. It's going to a channel, and I don't know what channel it's going to, so let's check out my other YouTube channels and see if it's going to either of them. And I'm kind of sick of this problem. This is a ridiculous problem to have. Um, so when you're using OBS, you got to be really careful. And I thought I double checked it, and I made sure that like I made both profiles under one instance, and then went there. So I'm not on Jam on Toast. Am I on Gaming Division? I'm not there either. Will my Twitter have where So how am I live on YouTube if I could see my key, I could tell because it's embedded in the code. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. Like someone very sweet told me that they were very sorry that I'm in tech hell. And I kind of joked about it. They're like, "Yeah, that's my life." But it's true. That's the sad bit. When it comes down to it. Oh geez, did I forget my Facebook password? Really? This is not the time. Thank you. That's what I just used. You idiot computer. Ugh. I don't I don't understand how I can do a thing and then do the same thing and it not work. And I'm inclined as a programmer to say user error, but how can it be user error if I'm literally following the same steps? Literally. Literally. Okay, so I'm seeing Ustream notification and YouNow notification. I'm obviously not seeing anything for Firetalk because Firetalk's sucking it now. But since I killed the secondary OBS, it's working. Now the problem is that I don't know. This is just fun with streaming with me today. So I'm gonna try to fix this profile with two of these open. I don't like it though. So what we're gonna do. This says Firetalk, but the Firetalk profile, if we look at it properly, has it's going to YouTube. It says it's going to YouTube. So here's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna close out that secondary that's not streaming. Let's clarify that. We're gonna open up our second instance because I can do that. I'm gonna look at the settings again for Firetalk and just see, are we confused? over from one of the others. I mean, and there's only like a 10-second delay or something, and Firetalk still thinks it's going, which bothers me so much. Okay, so now we got green on YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna start a second instance. No, I'm not. Hold on. I can actually go into set. It's really weird because you can change. Oh, you can't change it from there. All right, so I'm actually gonna. I have no idea what Firetalk's been broadcasting for a while now, because it says like 9:45, but I don't know where it's getting the feed from. Oh, that's from that window. Okay. So and then it's got the stream resumed for YouTube now. YouNow's black, so who knows if it's even still recording. It says cancel, so theoretically I'm there, but go live is grayed out, which is another good sign. But I mean, the black window's always troublesome. I need to be able to see things like Ustream. If nothing else, Ustream is dependable. I still like YouTube the best. I really don't even like Twitch that much, but Twitch had such a good chat system compared to YouTube, to Google Hangouts, because Google Hangouts just has a notoriously bad chat system or interactivity level. Let's say that. Whereas these live chats on all these other things are stupendous when you get people who want to chat with you. I can't see the YouNow chat right now because it's being stupid. The Ustream one is so far down, and you have to manually select it. So there's that. Yeah. Okay. So, like, YouNow's in this weird state where it. Oh man, it says that I'm not streaming, but I am. Like now, I've got it back where it shows my feed, but it doesn't give me my chat. Firetalk, I have a chat, I just can't see whatever I'm streaming. So that could just be a picture of pigs. I don't know. This is the life, people. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to close out this window so many times. I don't have a title in the Ustream one. I don't think I can title my broadcast on YouNow. And I click go live even though I'm already live, so that gives me my chat back at least. I was gonna say, like, it says I've had 11 broadcasts, but I'd really like to just name the broadcast that I'm done doing. That's all I want. YouNow's cute because it gives you little tips like tell us about your favorite hobby, game design, programming, YouTube, and then sleeping at this point, which is really really sad because that last one prevents you from doing any of the first three. And I say game design instead of playing games because I just haven't had a super lot of chance to play games. Either I've had tech issues in the way, or I dedicate time towards video stuff and whatnot, and I'm behind a lot on watching things and trying to play certain games. Um, I'm not board gaming as much these days, so like I was really hoping I could spend more time playing some video games, getting that knocked out. And then I just had this horrible idea to go through and do all these blind plays on these games I didn't know, so I know. And I appreciate doing it because it told me games that I didn't want to play at all. So there was that, and that was good. But in retrospect, never fucking do that. Pick a game and play it through. If you want to alternate between like 2 or 3 games and be like, on this day I play this and on this day I play that, great. Because that's actually what Mayhem Muse is doing. Twitch.tv/mayhem_muse. She's doing like Final Fantasy, and then she's doing like Soul Calibur, and she's got some Steam games that she's going to line up later on. But yeah, pick a game, play it blind. Doesn't matter if you know what it is or not, but make sure that your recording's quality, your stream's quality. and just play it start to finish until you're done with it. If you choose to end it on that first stream in the first 5 minutes, great. That means that you don't have to deal with that anymore. And I should not clap when I'm on camera. That is a huge no-no. Even if it was just putting my hands together and not applause. Um, so like, but it's gonna cause some weirdness on my channel later on. Not only are like Sid and I are gonna go back and do Castle Crashers together. We started that already. As long as we keep that up every week, I think we'll be fine. Um, but like Dust and Elysium Tale. Oh, I loved that game so much that I look forward to replaying those 3 hours that I did that were not acceptable. I really need to go delete that video, and I will once I do it again. But hopefully I'll get Sun Age up. I actually had a request for that, so I feel like I need to do it. And I don't think there's a lot of those out there. So I think I'm going once I get through on Aknight, I'll go back and do it. And I'm really happy that I haven't had actual crashes yet. I know I'm jinxing myself every time I say that, but I've been on for about 45 minutes or so. Nothing here gives me a timer except for Firetalk, and it thinks I've been on for 15. And maybe it is less than 45, and it just feels like an ancient amount of time. But I was really hoping to play through a chapter of that tonight, and this took too long. It ate up my game time. I've got to go to bed. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. That was always been the goal, is to do Friday night gaming. And after this, I've got to sort out which stream actually turned out contiguous or good. Because theoretically it's not Ustream, and theoretically it's not Firetalk, and YouTube started bad and then came in halfway through. So hopefully you now actually has a full contiguous file for me. I mean, hell, even Periscope lets you archive it, which I really wish there was a PC version, because people use that on their phone. And maybe I'm behind the times. Have they updated that? That's something to look at real quick. No, stay window. I want to use you. Oh my God, just stay there. There we go. Let's go PC. Is it just periscope.com? Periscope.tv, which takes you to mobile devices. And as soon as I figure out how to mount them properly, and maybe all it takes is putting them in like a little harness and then strapping them to the screens, or holsters, because I have holsters. I should have holsters for a couple of extra phones that I have, or older phones, and then I can just arrange them with some 550 cord. Yeah, I had tried to duct tape them to like the sides of the monitors, and it's just not strong enough to hold for an extended period of time. I could probably. I don't have wire hangers though. All mine are plastic, just because the wire ones get bent up, and that's what they're good for. There's a solution here. I know there's a solution here, but even me and my insanity with all this thinks that maybe, god damn, Ustream's not even recording. Who knows what that's gonna look like? There, part of me, even in the insanity that is all this and being able to multi-stream, thinks that going Meerkat and Periscope at the same time is too much. Plus, that would be the only thing that has a different angle, because right now all these are actually running off the one camera, which is the trick that I enjoy. That I can actually take one source and split it up. I mean, I enjoy it enough that I actually paid for professional software that I've gone through the ringer for. I've done my fucking time in the trenches, I'll tell you that much. And I think what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have to download as many of these as possible and edit together a version that actually has everything. Because I don't know if any one of these actually has everything, and that's fine. As you can see here on the overlay, we're going to be on youtube.com/htkb. These are all the other things that I use. And if I have to add Periscope and Meerkat on there, I might lose my mind. I mean, like these are like non things. I'm debating about putting my Facebook up there or not. I don't know. Maybe I'll put the group page. That's actually a good idea. I've got a business page or whatever for House the Camera I built. I can put that there. Um, yeah. I still feel like I got a rock in my eye. I don't normally like talking about medical stuff, but I had planned on doing the entire podcast like this, but as I was setting up for it, I was trying to just let my eye relax and do this because this is how it's more comfortable. But because I was getting all stressed out about Firetalk not working, um, I kept doing this, and then if like I'm all twitched out, it actually makes it hurt, and then my face is sore from contorting. Um, so while I'm okay with just having it relaxed closed, um, like the super monstrous twitch thing was not working for me. Ah, so with the uh, what do you call it? Tech issues subsiding, it should let me refocus on spherical. I have to test it out with Adobe. I have to be able to see. Okay, so I have to finish the video that I'm editing with Adobe um, to make sure that I know how it works and how it outputs. I theoretically I have to see if I have access to Sony Vegas, because I don't know how I can set up for bad summaries again. And I've got templates set up for that, and they were kind of a pain in the ass to put together because that intro sequence has to remain dynamic, and that's Pig. He is my favorite fat kitty ever. Um, I love that cats can't conceptualize that there's a camera. I feel bad if a mouse ever gets in here. Like we legit have lizards outside, and I have to have the front door open for my power cord to go out to my car. So they're smart enough to stay the hell away from my cats. But we have anoles in the daytime, and then we have geckos that will gather on the roof. They actually live in the ceiling outside on the porch. And it's hilarious because they're super flat, and then like you'll be looking at it and you're like, "What's that?" And then the wall just wiggles. Um, but I'm really worried that like they'll follow the bugs into the house when it gets that dark, and then the cats will get a hold of them. But as you can see, they won't last long enough for me to worry about them. Just be like, "Oh, you're dead." As long as my cat eats it, I'm okay with it. But I'd prefer he just be outside eating the bugs because this is Florida and more bugs need to be eaten. It's just a fact. This fucking cesspool of a state. I've realized too that like if you just get close enough to the equator, it's hot enough where people evolutionarily don't give a shit. That's what the problem is. That's why there's so many car accidents here. The combination of that, young people and old people, just car wrecks everywhere. Every day I see some kind of car wreck or car accident, collision. There we go. That's the word. Um, and then like there's just black mold places. Like I was looking at my front door, I was like, I probably need to clean this. And then I thought about how many people don't even bother to think about that. They're just like, oh, it's just a door that happens. I think at my mailboxes there's just a layer of black mold. Like there's something kind of growing on my car and I don't like it. So I gotta make sure I need to make sure I go to the car wash. I've been meaning to do that for a while. Um, it's just really gross and unhealthy, and I don't like it. I've actually had two cases in the house where, like, I guess just enough moisture built up that it was like, well, I'm gonna grow here, and it's like, no, you're not. And I got rid of it. Um, but I've got to. Does it just look like both my eyes are closed? Hopefully, this one stays open enough. Um, God, this is just so comfortable now. I don't want to do it because my eyes just been hurting since last night, and I flushed it several times, and it's just bullshit. Um, and I know when I look to my right to look at the cats that my closed eyes towards the camera, and that's horrible. And now I'm just happy everything's working. Like I'm trying to sit in the moment and enjoy it. Like I don't feel like I get to enjoy things very often. Even if I get something good and I get the reward out of it, it's like, okay, that's good. Now on to the next problem because I just have so many things to get to one after the other, and it's fine because I'd rather not have the silence and I'd rather not have the idleness. Um, but I don't know. No idea how much I'd like for just like a year do whatever I want. I think it would immensely set me up for the rest of my life. Um, Maybe I should be looking for like into grants or something. Like there's got to be that. I've seen them before. I know Trump used to do a couple. I know he's very favorable unfavorable fashion these days to mention him, but he used to do something like small business grants or whatever. And I think Bill Gates used to do something too, but his requirements were probably much higher. Where like you could get $50,000 to $100,000 worth of funding if you could propose a proper business plan for whatever. The unfortunate thing is that like my very first thing I want to get knocked out uh, is not a sustainable thing. It's something that could pay me back for the rest of my life, but it's not something that I could live off of. Now, if I do, I don't know, like 10 of those, then maybe. And even then, it's not great. But if I can get the snowball rolling, then maybe. There's actually a production piece that I really want to do. And I've mentioned Super Dungeon Adventure before, but I get more excited every time I think about it, every time I get closer. And then I realize there's actual steps I need to take to make certain bits happen. And it just seems like it takes so long to make anything in my life happen because life gets in the way. And I'm inching closer and closer. I actually started looking at it the other day when I couldn't do something. I was like, I can't do anything. Let me just open up GIMP and start working on these picture files. And I think if I can get enough done with the image file or picture files and get a version of loaded into TTS or Tabletop Simulator, I really think that's going to be the step I can go to. You can use that, and I can try the mass army version. But the more I think about that storyline, I think about this great storyline where it builds to that. Because my first idea is to just go in and just have everybody. Um, but the way fucking Soda Pop Miniatures is doing their bullshit, fucking idiots. I love the product, and even Ninja All Stars looks great. Um, but like I personally don't like them. If that makes any sense at all. Like I just the way they're balancing things doesn't make fucking sense. Um, they're way behind on launching Legends as it is because of Arcadia Quest is actually bringing out a second edition as it is. But they're super hell bent on doing everything. And they're doing everything all at once. So you know that they over borrowed or whatever, promising returns, and then they get crowdfunded anyways. So like maybe that's what they're banking on. And the digital stuff. I ordered I as soon as it became available, I ordered Scarecrow Jack, Beatrix the Witch, and the Boo Booty USB drive, which is supposed to have an alpha of I don't know if it's Super Dungeon Legends or what, but I grabbed that so that I can try to do a let's play for it, just to see what it's about, and maybe that'll restore some confidence. They can't. I mean, they can't edit an order you put in. You're like, I wanted to reduce the number because I didn't realize there was a 2 there instead of a 1. It's like, oh, I just need one of these. So they had to cancel the whole order and put it in. And they're the same people that let the order sit there for 60 days, and it still says processing, even though I received everything. So I want to say fuck them, but like I don't want to not get their things. And if you look at their fucking Kickstarter for Super Dungeon Legends, it's insane. Um, and it's like, well, I'm gonna buy all this as soon as it comes out, anyways. So might as well get it now and probably at cheaper prices, uh, because it is. So I just pledged the biggest thing, which was $200. And then I'll get all that when it comes out. And then if they do any add-ons, which they will, it'll probably end up going up to like 350, and I'll be fine with that because fuck, it's Super Dungeon Explorer, and yes, Cammy's happy with the game. And I noticed that they changed up the things. I think the my notion with the black tiles in Dragon Peaks was correct, that the the Crystalia dungeon tiles kind of replaced those, because now they're doing 4 for Roxor and 4 for Dragon Peaks. So it's going to be a set of 4 tiles, double sided, and then Dragon Peaks will be on one side, and then Roxor will be on the other. Which actually doesn't make any sense, because you have to be able to have 5 tiles of the same thing, but I guess you could just use one from the other set. No, because there's only 4 tiles. Huh. Interesting. Um, I don't know. Maybe they're getting away from the battle arena thing, and I think that's bullshit, because it's what I like about it. I don't want to have the story. I want the option. In fact, I still want my downgrade cards for the new stuff to be able to play in the old version. But it is what it is. What it is. If the heroes get to consolidate a little bit, that's fine. And I've probably gone on too long this time. I got a second win there at one point. But I've got kitties to pet. I'm gonna watch some Helix. That show is dark. Season 2. I don't know if you watched the first season, but it was pretty messed up, and the second season's even better. So, um, I'm looking forward to getting in my Scared Trigger Jack card, so I can try to do my modded car for Magic Jack here. And I really got to look at how to do this, because if I can, I'm gonna make it an ongoing web series. I think that's the best way to do it. It's just a matter of getting the campaign done and getting it fully written. I mentioned that to somebody either. Oh yeah, it was Paz versus stuff. I really, ow. See, that's why I was keeping my eyes shut. I really want to get that written. I think if I can get myself through production pieces, I can get back to really writing in games. But I've got to get the simple, sweet stuff done too. It's just a matter of what I can balance. But working on the campaign will give me something fun to do and step me out of stressing about stupid goals and everything. Alright, so I'm going to start shutting these down. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Where is Minicam? There it is. So, until you see me next time, I am Kamurai. Have a nice day. If you want to see anything else we're up to, go to click the annotations and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.